they're honoring Americans in Florence. You know, I think it's so, usually, you know, Americans look at this area as the old original masters, you know, and the fact that Florence respects American artists is a tremendous compliment. As a citizen of mine of the United States, I'm thrilled that they're doing that.
Well, it was very much, the city wants to celebrate this year, actually, the 500th anniversary after the death of Amerigo Vespucci. And so the city really wanted to celebrate the links to America.
It's wonderful. This is one of my favorite paintings, and here's the original.
There it is.
In the reproductions, I'd never realized that white is that bright.
Yeah.
You know, but in the original painting, you could see. Wow.
How do you read that as a painter?
Well, it's perfect composition and great balance, you know, the dark against the light.
So when you paint, what kind of painting, what kind of style do you do? Is it?
Well, I just keep studying. You know, just paint every day, so I'm I paint with nature.
You've been painting every day you've been in Florence?
Mm-hmm.
Always, every day, no matter what.
With Leo, he's a beautiful painter, you know, from the Academy.
Tony, I have good news for you. You know, we've been talking about the Vasari corridor. We have here Cecilia Ball, Sargent, and William Merritt Chase's self-portraits from that collection. So these were commissioned by the Uffizi.
The first American woman to be asked.
The very first,
yeah.
Fantastic.
Wow, that's a beauty, huh?
Yeah, fantastic. And I love his brushwork. I think for him it was such a great honor that they asked him to paint us for the Uffizi, for the Vasari corridor. Because remember, Sargent was born here.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can't imagine a bigger honor for a living artist. Fantastic. Sargent only painted around 5 self-portraits, so it's quite nice to be able to see this one with good light on it as well. Beautiful, huh?
Wow. He, you know, Sargent became so popular in Britain that King George said we'd like to change the history of Britain, and I couldn't believe it. He said, I'm so honored. He said, but I'm an American and I can't do it. He actually turned down being knighted, and he would have been the only one that was ever knighted. I love he did the shadows in the eyes, sockets, you know, under the glass.
Yeah, it has so much energy, the way the brush strokes.
It created a depth, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Frank Duveneck, of course, the painter who brought his students to Florence. They were known as the Duveneck boys.
But you guys did a nice job of contrasting the different styles.
Well, this is just the first 2 rooms. I mean, so we have some sublime portraits coming up by Sargent, but also by Boldini, by Fabri.
What a collection.
And this is by the sister of Egisto Fabri, this fabulous collector and artist.
Wow.
He was born in New York. He was an American. He came back here, and he became the center of the city's cultural life.
Wow.
Trained as a painter. I mean, that's a self-portrait of his, so he's no slouch.
Right.
Are you familiar, Tony, with Edmund Tarbell's work?
No, I'm not.
Okay, Tarbell was the head of the Boston School of Painting.
Wow.
So I've been looking at their work a lot now that I'm back in the States.
Sure.
And Tarbell and Benson were very close friends, and they essentially founded the teaching techniques that were taught in Boston. They were the heads of there wasn't an academy, there was a museum school that they taught at, but they were essentially the heads of their program, and their idea was what they pushed forward in the arts in Boston. So the Boston School is famous for, you know, these guys here, particularly Tarbell and Benson. I remember you telling me a few years ago that you quite liked Whistler, and you had been reading
Yeah, right.
some of his writing.
How far out that is. I mean, you know, it's such a creative painting. You know, it has nothing to do with the correct proportions. It's like an impression. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's still another
There's
3 heads.
10 or 11 heads there. It looks like real painting, you know, like very...
Yeah, but what a breakthrough into modern art. I mean, you look at that and it's like way ahead of time, you know?
You know, I like it. I do like it. I look at that Whistler and I think there's so much power to the way that he...
It's one of a, you know, it's one of a kind. Oh, this is a spectacular exhibition, man. You know, it's one of the greatest shows I've ever seen. It's such great work over and over again. It's timeless. It really is. It could be now, it could be other times, you know.
And he started out doing paintings about this big, very tight, and by the end of his career he did paintings, huge society portraits, almost abstract. You see these kind of energetic brush strokes. They started to take over everywhere. And but this is quite a strong Boldini, I think.
I love the understanding of the veins in the hand and all that. You know, it's really, awesome.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. He painted it like a watercolor.
His sense of light and the vision he had, you know, the courage to paint in such a different way. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Like you say, like it's like a jazz artist, you know. Really,
Yeah, knowing what to leave out and what to put in. This is amazing.
It's so strong. And this last room, I find it's a beautiful ending to the show because
You know, they don't have this in the Met as great as the Met is. They don't have a show like this in the Met.
unless you finish here with the Americans going back home. I mean, they're painting New England.
He's one of my favorites. So this is the last guy in the circle of the Boston artists I was talking about, you know, the Boston School. And I think he did, aside from Sorolla, perhaps the most convincing paintings of people outside and the light.
Think of all that. What do you think you are?
Spectacular.
It's over the moon. I never saw a more pleasant and beautiful collection of paintings. It's really, wow.
I hope you feel as about the experience in the exhibition the way I do when I heard you sing, which all makes me feel. So it's
Thank you.
it's born of the same impulse. We want.
Great, very good. Thank you very much, and
I'll
congratulations.
walk you down the stairs, and you know how to get across the street.
Yeah.
So.
What a great show.